Okay, before I run out the door, you see that, 45 was in Ireland and they were asking him about the case. And he's over there blustering, I'm going back, I need to confront this woman, and Well, I pulled some cards. And what we have, of course, him at the center of it all, he has to be in control of everything. How? Going into it, as usual, he wants to be his bully self with the community. He wants to rage and put out his anger and his angst and his drama with the community like he always does. Going into it, we have his dark deeds, okay? And we have this is his life path. This is what he's always done. But, at this point, it's not looking good for him. We have the coffin, the death. Because this stuff is coming back to bite him in the rear end. The challenge is his going forward, waiting for his ship to come in. So at the heart of it, above it, the heart of it, the foundation is the key. Okay? And so what is it? His message that he wants to put out there. And this is, of course, 45, thinking that he can cut this in some way, shape, or form by coming back. Now, I thought that they said that I guess he could testify, but he needs to do it right away. They were giving him until Sunday to decide. So let's see what is going to be the outcome of this. Let's just do this again. We're going to pull 3 cards and then we're going to do the Lenormand and just see what we get with this. So what ultimately is this fool going to wind up doing? Is he going to insist on testifying, and how will it go? Does he think he's going to come back and get carte blanche to get up there and bully her in the court? Or is he going to do it on his lies central? What in the world is in this man's mind? Going into it is, charging forward. Okay? He wants to charge forward. Running away from where he was at. He thought he could just not deal with it. But now he's getting asked hard questions, even in Ireland, in Scotland, in Ireland. And they're going, what is your thing? So again, this is about him wanting to charge back because Takapina is just horrid. Again, he's wrapped up in his illusions, his delusion, his dark mentality of how he's going to work it. Okay? The center of it, his fishtails. So apparently he's got some sort of idea of the lies and the fishtails that he could present above it. Oh, his shedding light with his fishtails of lies. The foundation is about the marriage, so I think the marriage is about working with his lawyers, etc. That the judge said he has till Sunday to let him know if he is going to show up or not. Okay, so his delusional ideas that he's got going with his lawyers. The challenge is about what's being given out. Okay, evidence, what's given out to those poor people waiting in the jury. Okay, so above it, he thinks again that he's large and in charge. He's going to pull the president thing, that he's so important, and try to obstruct. Okay, so he thinks that some way he's going to be able to put some sort of an obstruction there. He's looking at the possible payout and is worried about it. Clarification is about, yes, wanting to go forward. So what we have above it is his deception, deceit, the con, as usual, when it comes to the woman. So he apparently thinks he can go back and sway them and cut underneath of it, cut everything, and say that she is the one that's the con. She's the one that's deceptive. And, he's going to try, it looks like, to spin it, okay, about the payout. She's just there for a payout. That's what it's about. And it's about his marriage with deception that he's continually in. Again, he thinks he's going to go give his fishtails to obstruct things, okay? He's in delusion about thinking that because he was president, that he's going to be able to railroad this. Yeah, so that's what I get. If he goes back and he goes to testify, now we don't have any major arcana with this, okay? This is about action. This is about, the action. He's charging and wanting to move this forward. It's about the payout, the money, and what's being given, the evidence, and his idea that he can, again, give fishtails. Give his lies, his fishtails, to sway the jury. So we're going to have to see what happens. If he shows up, if the judge is going to allow him to speak, if he's going to allow. Now, maybe he thinks he's going to give the closing argument and say she's delusional and she's not my type, and how dare you believe any of this? It's a witch hunt. It's, his regular rigmarole of drama. And thinking that he can sway it in some way, shape, or form. I don't think so, okay? Now, I hope he shows up and makes a fool of himself, okay? But he cannot stand it, because even in Scotland and Ireland, they're pressing him on this, okay? And he had every ability and chance to be there for the whole trial. He chose not to. So now, at the 7th hour, he wants to show up. What's he going to do? Is it going to be on his lie central that he thinks he's going to blow this up? Or does he think he's going to waltz into court now, give a closing argument, and be able to dismantle all of this? The only thing that's going to happen is he's going to look like a fool. But let me see, if he goes into court, let me pull one more set. What will the jurors think of this? If this fool decides to go into court, what will the jury think of his actions? So let's see what we have. Going into it, dead in the water, okay? You're dead in the water. You're laying down. You didn't show up to begin with. Okay? That he's trying to pull out a Hail Mary, short-term luck, with whatever message he thinks he wants to give, but they're like, you could have been here the whole thing, and you chose not to. So it doesn't look like they're really thrilled with it. It's like snoozing on the job. We don't want to hear it. The center of it, that he's delusional. He's in his fantasy, okay? We're looking at, his friends, alkalites, whatever, and the bouquet. So this will only play to the MAGA crowd. That's it. The only ones that will believe that delusion and illusion and drama he's got at the center of it are MAGA people. End of story. And the challenge is, yeah, you're out in the cold, buddy. Okay? You're on crutches. Okay? Dead in the water. Oh my goodness. Above it, again, we have just the MAGA crowd and this dark scenario. So they're not going to be impressed. If he comes there, the jury would not be impressed because they've already rested the case. It's supposed to be final arguments. And then this fool perhaps wants to come in and put all this stuff up in the air of trying to railroad it. But ultimately it says you're going to be out in the cold. And the clarification is trying to manipulate. Okay? Thinking that he can manipulate what? American public. Manipulation. But they've already got the evidence, okay? They've already got everything solidified in the community. So they just see that he would be there. They've already rested the case. He's coming in, wanting to put out all this fantasy notion, but what really, with all the stuff up in the air that he wants to try to do, he's in manipulation mode and he's out in the cold, okay? They don't want to hear it. So the major arcana in this is what? Manipulation, okay? So he's not fooling anyone there on that jury as to whatever he thinks he's going to come in there and do. Okay? So I would say, yeah, go ahead, go there, go to court. Want your time in court now that you've already said you're not showing up. So show up and make yourself look even the bigger fool. Okay? So on that note, I'm going to leave this here. We'll have to see how this plays out.